ABC7 Bangor.
This is ABC7 News at Noon.
The trial for a Stockton Springs mother accused of murder has been postponed. We'll tell you what happened. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. A 2 decades-long legal battle over the cleanup of mercury in the Penobscot River has ended, and a program that's helped hundreds of Mainers get opioid addiction treatment is running out of money. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey, Susan. Happy Wednesday afternoon. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Luigi and Fredericks across from Eastern Maine Medical Center, serving the greater Bangor area for over 65 years. Already, the fog got pretty thick for a while this morning, even lowered visibility down to even less than a mile in some spots, so that was not very fun for a few areas, but now things are starting to improve. It did prompt a dense fog advisory actually for a while this morning too. That was dropped at 9 a.m. and now we have these Gale Watches that are up until 11 a.m. Friday. We also have small craft advisories to the south because things continue to remain active. So once the fog gets out of here, we will see a lot of sunshine at first, but later on this evening, clouds will begin to move in ahead of our next system, which is right about over here, causing a lot of fanfare with showers and thunderstorms across a good part of the Midwest this morning into the afternoon period. But so increasing clouds later on this evening, even more dense fog cannot be ruled out, but of course clouds maybe trying to get a few sprinkles in here, but I think most of us will stay dry Thursday, but it's Friday when the rain really begins to get going. The winds though mainly out of the south at times at around 5, maybe up to 10 miles per hour, but notice increasing a little bit, especially as we head towards Thursday. Set forecast for today, upper 60s with a partly cloudy sky and a south wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Later on tonight, upper 40s on the way, becoming mostly cloudy, areas of dense fog as well, while that south wind getting up to about 5 miles per hour. For tomorrow, middle 60s, mostly cloudy and breezy, south wind up to about 25 miles per hour. Hourly forecast for the rest of the afternoon period, partly cloudy, temperatures in the 60s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. There's a large police presence on Valley Avenue in Bangor today. Our Craig Colson has the latest.
Well, good afternoon, Susan. Hello, everyone. We're still unclear about what exactly is happening here on Valley Avenue. This, of course, is one of the areas in the city where some of the homeless have been setting up encampments. They have areas all up through the woods there with tents and other things like that. A short while ago, we learned that there was a large police presence here, and that's exactly what we found when we got here. Police are not releasing any information at this point other than telling me that no one has died and there is no threat to the public. We did see that one person was being hauled away in handcuffs when we arrived on the scene. Police say that they will release more information as the day continues. We'll keep you updated and try to figure out exactly what's happening here on Valley Avenue. Reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22, this is Craig Colson.
Thank you, Craig. A huge rally in support of Maine fishermen is being held today in Portland. DeMillo's restaurant in the Old Port is where fishermen from all over the state have gathered in solidarity against the new restrictions being proposed by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Fishermen say it's a chance for them to talk directly to the public and to those running for office. Fishermen fear proposed regulations to protect right whales will end up putting some of them out of business, sending an economic shockwave through all the businesses that rely on the industry. We'll have much more on this rally tonight at 6. Maine lobster fishermen have also hired a former high-ranking U.S. Department of Justice official to represent them in their case against new federal laws. The Maine Lobstermen's Association is appealing its case against the new rules to the U.S. Court of Appeals for D.C. District Court. The group said Tuesday it has hired Paul Clement, who served as a U.S. Solicitor General from 2004 to 2008, to represent them in the case. Clement said NOAA is required by statute to take into account the best scientific and commercial data, and he believes the agency has failed to do that.
The Lobstermen's Association and everybody, I think, cares very much about protecting endangered species. But the statute requires the agency to strike a balance based on the best available science. And instead, the agency here has essentially erred on the side of the species at every turn and indulged a series of worst-case scenarios as opposed to what's likely to happen in the real world.
Clemens said this is an instance of agency overreach, and what drew him to the case is the undeniable impact to real people and an iconic industry. He said there's no doubt that the future of the industry hangs in the balance. The trial of a Stockton Springs mother accused of killing her 3-year-old son has been postponed for 1 week. A.J. Douglas has the latest.
The lead attorney for the state has tested positive for COVID-19, which prompted Justice Robert Murray to pause court proceedings.
Jessica Williams stands accused of killing her 3-year-old son, Maddox Williams, back in 2021. According to police records, the child suffered a fractured spine, bruises, broken teeth, bleeding in his brain, and other injuries. Williams is also widely known by a different alias, including Jessica Trefethen. Court officials confirmed the trial will resume October 17th. In studio, A.J. Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
The Kennebec County Sheriff's Office has issued a silver alert for 71-year-old Michael Holmes of Vienna. According to Maine State Police, Holmes was last seen on foot leaving a residence on Tower Road in Vienna Thursday, October 6, with plans to go to Winthrop. He has not been seen by family since. Police say Holmes suffers from cognitive issues. He's a white male, 6 feet tall, 225 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. Mr. Holmes does not have his cell phone on him, and it is unknown what he was last wearing. If you see him or have any information, please call 911 or the Kennebec County Sheriff's Office at 207-624-7076. Authorities are investigating the discovery of human remains in Acadia National Park. Acadia National Park Public Affairs Assistant Nate Parkinson says the remains were found last week. He says although there is not a criminal case, National Park Service Rangers and the Maine State Police are investigating the case. We'll keep you updated as more information becomes available. Auburn police are investigating a shooting at a residence on Turner Street. According to Lieutenant Anthony Harrington, police were dispatched to 250 Turner Street around 10 o'clock on Monday after the caller reported someone had just shot their television. Officers confirmed a shot had been fired into the first-floor apartment from outside. Nobody was injured. The suspected shooter had fled the scene by the time police arrived. Investigators believe the apartment was targeted and this was not a random act. The investigation remains active. Anyone with information is asked to contact Detective Matthew Johnson at 207-333-6650, extension 2082. A 2-decades-long legal battle ends after a judge ruled in favor of a $187 million settlement over Mercury Cleanup in the Penobscot River. The settlement requires Malincourt U.S. LLC to pay for mercury remediation methods. According to Maine's People's Alliance, the plant, located in Orrington on the banks of the Penobscot River, released tons of mercury into the river over the span of several years. Maine People's Alliance and Natural Resources Defense Council initially sued Malincourt back in 2001 to advocate for cleanup efforts. Jesse Grambenbag worked with the Maine People's Alliance in 1999 when the lawsuit was filed. The organization's co-director says Tuesday's ruling is just the beginning.
Much cleaner river, surely a much cleaner river. I don't know if we'll ever get it clean, but I think that we're really excited about the ruling and that this will go forward. So, this will restore the river.
The chlorine plant was ordered to pay at least $187 million and up to $267 million to an independent trust that will fund and implement restoration of the river. Malincourt spokesperson Mark Robinson sent a statement saying, in part, quote, "We are very pleased that Judge Woodcott has approved this settlement. The parties reached the agreement after thorough and thoughtful discussions," end quote. Waterville Police Department's HOPE program is one of many ongoing efforts to combat current opioid epidemic. Matthew Jaroncic has more.
Just the fact that they walk through those 2 front doors, the first thing I always say is how proud I am of them.
Waterville Police Department's Hope Angel Beverly Fairchild says she's encouraged every time she sees someone suffering from an opioid addiction seeking help. She's part of Operation Hope, or Heroin Opiate Prevention Effort. Operation Hope Coordinator Robert Booley says Hope Angels work with the police department to combat the current opioid crisis and support those seeking recovery.
It is the part that actually is helping place and get people into treatment facilities. And then the other parts we have is education and enforcement. But it's a very valuable one because it affects not just the person with the addiction, but it also affects the families. So it's making a big difference in that factor.
Started in 2017 by Richland Chief Deputy Joseph Massey and Waterville Deputy Chief of Police William Bonney, Operation Hope has been embraced by the Waterville community.
They both noticed that, hey, we're enforcing the laws and we're getting drugs off the streets, but at the same time, we have a lot of people who are being affected by the use of the drugs, and that the community is greatly affected.
It starts right here with this phone call, where a phone call is made to a detox center before being put into detox houses like right behind me to fight addiction.
It just warms my heart. It just warms my heart seeing the sense of relief knowing that there's a plan, that they have a plan to get help. It can be a day or two before we can actually get them into a detox facility because of a shortage of beds.
At one point during the pandemic, Operation Hope coordinator Robert Booley says he and his team had to overcome many obstacles.
Even through COVID, which was a hard time because we couldn't do, our different Operation Hope fundraisers, but we've made it through with different donations from the city and or from businesses.
Although the state saw a record number of overdose deaths last year, Fairchild believes that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be, I want to change my life. I can't do this anymore. Well, at the end, when they leave, it's just that, again, they have a sense of relief and knowing that help is on the way.
Matthew Jurancic, ABC7 and Fox 22.
Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, we've got details on how you can stay warm and save money on heating costs this winter.
Your representative has your back.
Who's he kidding? Jared Golden votes with Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden 83% of the time. The result? A war on the middle class, the worst inflation in 40 years, sky-high energy prices, drugs pouring over the border. And Jared Golden just voted for 87,000 new IRS agents to hassle the middle class. Jared Golden doesn't have your back. He has theirs. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Does your plug-in fade too fast? Try Febreze Fade to Fi Plug. It has built-in technology to digitally control how much scent is released to smell first day fresh for 50 days. La, 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 la.
Better skin from your body wash? Try Olay Body Wash with skincare super ingredient collagen. Olay Body Wash hydrates for healthier looking skin in just 14 days. From dry and dull to firm and radiant. With Olay Body, I feel fearless in my skin.
Joe Biden and Janet Mills are working together to crush Maine families with rising costs. Mills and Democrats' radical plan targeting gas and home heating fuel will raise Maine's gas tax by up to 40 cents a gallon. And Mills' new tax on food and household essentials will increase monthly grocery bills by nearly $60. End the Biden-Mills crush on Maine families. Stop Janet Mills. The top funder of Maine Families First is Thomas Klingenstein.
If you were hurt because of exposure to the toxic water at Camp Lejeune, Congress has made it possible for you to recover a settlement. Former Marine attorney James Beardsley wants to help you.
Call now to see if you qualify. Call 222-2222.
At Firehouse Subs, we give you craveable subs that are piping hot and piled high. And a portion of every purchase helps give them the life-saving equipment they need. Order online or on the app for contactless pickup or delivery. Only at Firehouse Subs.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
I've been lobster fishing for over 25 years. These out-of-state groups that are funding Jared Golden, they're hurting us here in Maine, and Jared Golden isn't doing anything to stop them. There's the Jared Golden you see on TV, and then there's the Jared Golden that votes in Congress. He's so focused on getting elected that he's lost touch with what matters here in Maine, and we need someone to fight for us. Unless he leaves his party, there's no way Jared Golden can do anything to help Maine. I don't think Jared Golden's a bad guy, but he isn't a good congressman.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Maine Republicans addressed concerns over rising heating costs Tuesday. During a press conference, Republican legislators criticized Governor Janet Mills and Efficiency Maine for the 2019 incentive program, which provides rebates and financial assistance to purchase electric cars. The 2019 initiative also authorized the expansion of public charging stations. Legislators spoke in opposition to this program by arguing that the funding is geared toward wealthy Mainers and saying the funding should instead go toward helping those struggling to keep up with heating oil costs as winter approaches. Democrats argue efficiency programs are taking steps to ultimately decrease heating costs.
The Mainers in Piscataquis, Penobscot, and all of our counties that are struggling already to pay their heating bills, we have a large increase in the number of applicants for heating assistance. Up to over 20,000 people have applied.
These oil prices are because of a supply and demand problem that's out of our control. We need to diversify and reduce our demand here in the state of Maine. We need to do it nationally if we're ever going to get control of these prices.
Republican legislators are proposing to reverse and even end policies that they say cause electric costs to rise. A new easy-to-read voter guide is now available thanks to the efforts of the League of Women Voters of Maine. Those who log on to vote411.org will find examples of sample ballots, how ranked choice voting works, and information on in-person and absentee voting. Jen Lancaster with the League of Women Voters of Maine says her organization is a nonpartisan political group that strives to make voting more accessible and understandable for all who cast a ballot.
So see, this is what a yes vote means, this is what a no vote means, so that you actually know what will happen depending on which way that you vote. So we want people to understand that, of course, there are the really big races, but there are also those really important local races like town council, city council, school board, and those decisions can greatly impact where you are.
The League of Women Voters also plans to distribute tangible copies of the voter guide to local libraries so more voters have access to what will be available on this year's ballot. Temperatures are dropping, and we all know it's going to get a lot colder. There's a special rebate program that will help Mainers stay warm and manage their heating bills during the upcoming winter heating season. Efficiency Maine has a limited-time winter prep rebate, which will reimburse homeowners and tenants up to $100 toward the purchase of select weatherization and insulation products, including weather stripping, spray foam sealant, window insulation shrink kits, and foam board insulation, among other items. The details are available on the Efficiency Maine website. They also have a downloadable flyer providing winter energy-saving tips. Coming up, you may have been told to give up salt to get your blood pressure down, but as it turns out, you may not have to. We've got the details when we return.
If you've been hurt in a car accident, watch out.
Watch out. The insurance company may try to tell you that you don't need a lawyer.
Watch out. The insurance company may try to settle before you're done with all your medical treatments.
Don't trust that insurance company after your accident. You could miss out on a lot of money. Call the twos and we'll watch out for you.
Lowry & Associates watched out for me and got me $275,000.
Call the twos. We win for you.
If you're hurt in an accident, what do you do? Call 222-2222.
Senator Joe Baldacci, hardworking, independent, and effective. Joe Baldacci delivered by helping to pass more than $1 billion in direct tax relief for more than 95% of Maine taxpayers. Joe Baldacci delivered by passing laws to support Maine's small businesses across the board that provided tens of millions in direct relief, helping to protect and save thousands of jobs. Joe Baldacci, hardworking, independent, and effective, delivering results for Bangor and
Jay Leno live in concert.
Researchers at Washington University report that 100,000 years from now, the average size of the human head will greatly increase. They say the larger the head and the larger the jaw, the more sexually attractive people will be. So I am 100,000 years ahead of my time. That's right.
Saturday, October 22nd, Collins Center for the Arts, Orono, Maine. Tickets on sale now at waterfrontconcerts.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get moving. Go cardio crazy in our clean and spacious clubs. Jam out on the strength machines and get down with some dumbbells. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, October 14th.
Hank's Husqvarna is your full-line Husqvarna dealer with 2 convenient locations, 32 Old State Road in Carmel and 19 Moosehead Trail in Newport. Whether it's tractors and zero turns, chainsaws to trimmers, or pressure washers to snow blowers, everything is set up, serviced, and ready to go by our certified Husqvarna technician. And all sales are backed by our in-house Husqvarna warranty. For parts, service, or sales, stop in to Hank's Husqvarna, Carmel or Newport.
Want to get your high blood pressure down without giving up the taste of salt? With more, here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
Salt. You may have been told to avoid it to decrease blood pressure, but new research shows you may not have to give up the taste when giving up salt. Researchers from Harbin Medical University in China reviewed many studies and found that replacing salt with salt substitutes can help lower high blood pressure, and suggested that using salt substitutes instead of regular salt could improve your heart health. A salt substitute replaces sodium with potassium and can be found in normal grocery stores. But health experts warn that salt substitutes are not for everyone and could be harmful to people with certain health conditions or people who are taking certain medications. So talk to your doctor before making any dietary changes. With this Medical Minute, I'm Jay O'Brien, ABC News.
Maine has a new Teacher of the Year. 9th grade social studies teacher Matt Bernstein from Casco Bay High School was chosen as the 2023 Teacher of the Year. His selection was announced during a surprise event Tuesday morning. Teachers of the Year are recognized for a commitment to teaching excellence and nurturing the achievement of all students. They spend a year of service advocating for students and teachers and speaking to the importance of education in preparing Maine students for the future. A Clinton couple is using their quilting talents to provide warmth and comfort to complete strangers. Jim and Fran Posick say they love creating and donating their homemade blankets. And as Jody Hersey tells us, Jim just completed his 1,000th quilt for charity.
The pieces, the front, the back, and the batting, and I assemble them. It's called a sandwich. I put a sandwich together.
79-year-old Jim Posick is a veteran and former mechanic who loves working with his hands. Most days, you'll find him in his basement quilting.
Using your brain and being physically active has been something I thought about to stave off Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever. You need to use your brain to keep it busy.
It's Posick's mechanical mind that gave him the idea to computerize his long-arm quilting machine so he could make more blankets in a shorter amount of time. In the last 3 years, he has successfully completed 1,000 quilts.
Number 1,000, which is right here, I still enjoy looking at the pattern coming out.
Jim's wife, Fran, who is his biggest fan, is also an avid quilter.
Oh, it's like a quilt show every day. 1,000, that's amazing. People that quilt for a living do not produce that number of quilts.
The duo's handiwork is all donated to the Somerset Samplers, Quilts of Valor, and Project Linus, all organizations that help others.
Because like my daddy said, you can't live somewhere and not give back. You can't just take, you've got to give back.
In Clinton, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
When we return, Devin Biggs will have your 5-day forecast.
Seniors know a scam when they see one, like Bruce Poliquin.
My heart is breaking for our seniors in Maine.
He says he'll help Maine seniors. But the last time Poliquin was in Congress, he voted to cut $500 billion from Medicare. And he supports raising the retirement age for Social Security. Maine seniors can trust Jared Golden. Jared stood up to both parties to protect Social Security and Medicare.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message because Maine seniors earned their retirement.
General Rental Center has been serving Central Maine for more than 30 years with an extensive inventory, including mini track loaders with attachments, full-size track skid steer, track loader and backhoe, wheel loader with attachments, a 50-foot towable aerial lift, and a 45-foot self-propelled four-wheel drive lift. If you can't find it on our website, we can find it for you. Call for multi-day and weekend special rates.
Saliba's Rug Cleaners in Bangor is the best and only spot you should go to for your rug cleanings. Serving Maine for more than 70 years, we care about your rugs. Clean rugs last longer, and our family takes pride in being the professionals that you can trust. Our cleaning process consists of soaking your rug in a bath, shampooing, rinsing, and drying in a humidity-controlled dry room, making sure no detail is overlooked. Need a repair? We fully service every type of rug for you. Saliba's Rug Cleaners.
We care about your rugs.
She's been learning about the founding of our country, about rights and freedoms. Freedoms that today are under assault. Politician Bruce Poliquin supported amending the U.S. Constitution to ban abortion. He even voted for a nationwide ban. Poliquin would allow politicians to stand between women and their doctors. He supported allowing states to outlaw abortion even in cases of rape or incest. We can't let Bruce Poliquin back in Congress.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Welcome back. Here are some positive stories making headlines today.
An astronomical achievement. NASA says it succeeded in shifting the orbit of an asteroid millions of miles from Earth 2 weeks ago when it sent the DART spacecraft crashing into the rock. Before the impact, the asteroid took 11 hours and 55 minutes to circle its parent body. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson says the impact shortened that trip by 32 minutes. The experiment means Earth could be protected if a killer rock is ever heading our way. Appealing to the masses, Kircher Sunrise Orchards in Goshen, Indiana says it's a wonderful apple season this year with plentiful harvest ripe for the picking. The fruit farm also has a pumpkin patch, hay rides, and a market. Co-owner Molly Kiefer says this year's apple crop is the best since 2011. No tall tale here. New Zealand's Wellington Zoo has welcomed 4 sets of ring-tailed lemur twins, all born between August and just last week. That's 8 babies within 2 months. And the infants all have the same father, Zeus, who just arrived at the zoo this year. Ring-tailed lemurs are native to Madagascar, but are considered endangered. This is Craig Colson, and these are some of the positive stories making headlines today.
Now let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, happy Wednesday afternoon. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Scott's Recreation, New England's largest trailer dealer, home and Maine's lowest camper and tractor prices, with locations in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono, Maine. Alrighty, here we are. We have fog issues that developed earlier this morning, and it's actually prompted a dense fog advisory for a few spots for a while this morning, but now this afternoon we're starting to look pretty good out there. That dense fog advisory was dropped at 9 a.m. this morning as things started to improve. Now Gale Watches are up for a few areas, though, as we're dealing with, of course, some high surf from time to time, too, with a cold front that will begin to move in. So it's not happening yet. It's what's going to be happening later as that front begins to move in. Here we are, radar and Sally. We're watching clouds that'll start approaching soon, but for now looking pretty clear. So a lot of sunshine, boosting temperatures close to that 70-degree mark. But here's the front right about in here. That's going to change our lives in a hurry as everything begins to move from the west to the east. And again, things really start to get going, especially as we head towards your Friday. But wave heights, look at this, very calm right now, only around 1 to 2 foot wave heights at this point. So again, very calm, but these advisories that are up are for what's to come, especially as that system begins to move in. Alrighty, your temperature history, though, we've had highs in the upper 50s yesterday. That was about 2 degrees below normal, as our average high is 60 degrees. We'll make it into the upper 60s to lower 70s today. The middle 60s as we head towards your Thursday, remaining in the lower to middle 60s at least through Monday, then back down in the middle 50s as we head towards your Tuesday. Latest fall foliage report, a new one comes out later today. For the last one checked, Millinocket and Bangor was around near peak. Ellsworth was just below that, and of course Greenville was at peak. A new update comes out today, and we should see a more progression with the fall colors. But moving forward today, partly cloudy skies, then becoming mostly cloudy later tonight with more areas of dense fog. The fog goes away as the day progresses, but of course the clouds will hang around. It tries to get some rain going Thursday. I think we'll stay dry until probably Thursday night into Friday with more showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder moves in. But notice how stacked the pressure pressure gradient gets from the south to the north, helping to show that it will also be windy as the rain chances begin to move in. But for today, not so bad. Upper 60s, partly cloudy with that south wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Later on tonight, upper 40s becoming mostly cloudy, areas of dense fog, south wind up to 5 miles per hour. Moving in towards tomorrow, we have middle 60s on the way, becoming mostly cloudy and breezy. The south wind up to 25 miles per hour. Alrighty, here's a look at your Scott's Recreation extended forecast. Rain likely on Friday with highs in the lower 60s. The middle 60s make a return on Saturday with a few rain showers. Then we become partly cloudy on Sunday, highs in the mid 60s.
That's all for us. We'll see you on ABC 7 News at 6.
It's been a great summer at Dorsey Furniture, but it's time to start thinking about fall. Our new fall introductions are arriving daily and we need to make room. This means big discounts on selected items. How big? Half off. We didn't stop with just a few items. We have marked down every item in every department. Come to Dorsey Furniture during our fall clearance sale and you won't be disappointed. Dorsey Furniture, Route 1A, Holden.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.